Hey guys, I wanted to make a video for you about planning because some of you might be new to it, some of you never really did it, and some people are still struggling with it. And so the first thing I would say is just get some consistent behaviors into your lifestyle first. What do I mean? I mean, just start getting your shake in every day. That might be a big thing for you. Start drinking water, 8 glasses a day at least, and do that. And because that's going to make you feel like you're making progress while you're learning the whole meal planning thing. Here's the thing about meal planning. When I am really specific and I have like a goal and maybe it's like the first round of a program and I want to see amazing results, I make sure that this is a new phone and it keeps going dark on me. I don't know why. You have to figure out like where you are. Are you somebody who in your first round, or you want to get amazing results because you have a specific goal to get to? Then really making out a meal plan that even you follow on the weekends is something that you need to do. And I think for most part, a lot of people realize that they don't eat enough when they do a meal plan. And the thing is that when you do a meal plan is made up of healthy things. And when you do that, it's like, oh, holy crap, I don't eat enough. And that's kind of why, guys, we are susceptible to eating crap in the break room or whatever. Or, when we come home from work, we want to shove food in our face, or late at night when we haven't eaten enough. That's when our body is like, holy heck, woman, you haven't fed me and I'm really hungry. And the brain doesn't take into consideration like, hey, I should have an apple or I should have a carrot. It takes into the fact that it's usually craving sugar, it's usually craving fat and things like that. And really, because if you don't take in enough nutrition, your body sees that as, I need sugar, I need fat. And that's why when people put Shakeology into their diet, those cravings seem to go away because their nutritional needs are being met. And so that's why they can pass up chocolate. That's why they're not raiding, the closets at home after. And so the first step I will tell you, number one, is figure out when you're going to eat. Break up your day and figure out when you're going to eat. And that's going to be different for you. For me, I work at home, and so I can eat every 2 hours. I got to tell you, it's been a little dicey now that I'm doing radiation because I drive 45 minutes and back 45 minutes, and then I'm there for an hour. And so I completely understand those of you who work retail or you're teachers, and you only have a certain amount of time. Make it work for you. Okay? And so figure out when your first meal is going to be and figure out when your last meal is going to be. Like literally take a blank piece of paper and write down times that you think it's feasible for you to eat. And see how many times that is. For some of you, it's going to be 3 times. For some of you, it might be 6 times. Maybe you have time to get 2 snacks in between your meals and stuff. I got to tell you, I really don't snack. I'm more of a kind of 4 or 5 meal person. That works better for me. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want you to do is start putting in stuff that you're already doing that's healthy. So for instance, put in your shake. When are you going to drink your shake? I personally, for 4 years, have always drank my shake the first thing in the morning because that sets me up for an amazing day. I do my workout, I drink my shake. My shake kind of gives me the nutrition right away in the morning that I need. You want to drink your shake whenever you think you're going to be consistent. And so for many people, it's in the morning first thing. For other people, it's snack. For other people, it's late at night. My husband actually drinks it for his lunch because he likes to go to the gym. And so when he comes home from the gym, that's what he drinks for lunch. He has a shake. And there's oftentimes that sometimes he's more of a sugar fiend than I am. And so at night he gets those attacks. And so what works for him sometimes is making a shake. And maybe it's even a second shake or whatever, but it's better than diving into the cookies. Okay, so we've divided our day up. We've figured out like what are some things that we're doing that are really great, and then put them in. The next thing is you should have figured out how many calories or at what bracket you're in, and then how many containers you get. I have some of my containers here. For instance, sometimes the program puts me on the first bracket, but for me personally, I find the second bracket works better for me in being able to be consistent. And so I can follow the first bracket for the first 3 days, and then, I don't know, day 4, I tend to get hungry and I might cheat or might go off track. And so you have to figure out what's comfortable for you. I can tell you, you're not going to gain weight because you're eating an extra purple or an extra yellow. You're going to gain weight because you're eating crappy foods and you're doing it all the time. And so figure out how many containers you have. For instance, I have 4 red containers, 4 green containers, 3 purple containers, 3 yellow containers, 1 blue, 1 orange, and then I think it's 4 teaspoons. And then figure out when you're going to put them in. Later in the week, I'm actually going to share with you some tips on how to get better, effective results with the containers. And so for those of you maybe who are at a plateau or maybe not seeing as many results, I'm going to go into more detail about when to eat those containers. But right now, if you're just really meal planning, figure it out. Here's what I don't do. I don't wait to use all my containers in at night, because that makes me susceptible to being really hungry and eating the wrong things. And so I would say by 3 o'clock, I've eaten most of my containers. Now today's an off day. I kind of got screwed up with my schedule, and so I actually am eating a lot of containers. I have to eat 3 greens and 1 red, but that's easy. I'll have a salad, and then I'll have 2 vegetables that I usually have anyway. But usually your day should actually flip-flop. And this is if you're a typical person. Like if you're working night work, or if you have a different kind of schedule, then this might not work for you. But for somebody who has a typical schedule where they wake up in the morning and they go to work or do whatever they're going to do, most of your calories should be more in the middle of the day rather than at night. Now, there is research that proves that it doesn't matter when you eat, that it's all about, like getting those containers in. And so if you get everything in between a 4-hour period, like knock yourself out, that's fine. And so that's why when you are trying to figure out what works for you, you really do need to go through a trial and error thing. It's important because you're going to learn, hey, that didn't work. I was so hungry. You know what? That worked. I actually don't feel like I'm hungry. And figure out what foods work for you. Don't be so quick to try to change everything in your life that you miss the actual process, because the process is what's going to keep you a lifetime person who keeps weight off. We don't want you to lose weight in 21 days. And then as soon as you're done 21 days, you're like, oh, how the hell do I eat? How do I live in a regular world? We want you to start realizing, hey, these foods are great for me. Hey, this works if I eat this. This works when I eat this. For me, I really can't eat bread as much as I love it. It just doesn't work for me. I've actually figured out through trial and error that I can't have eggs, even though I love them. They were making me so bloated. And, it only came from trial and error. And so there is a lot to learn in trial and error. And so don't be so fixated on, trying to lose a ton of weight fast and things like that. This is a lifestyle, and therefore you need to be committed to a way of doing it for a lifestyle. All right, so you have your day connected, a day divided. You have things that you're probably already doing. That's great. At least you have one meal that you don't have to worry about with Shakeology. And then you are going to figure out how many containers you need and where you're going to put them. And you are going to find out that that is by trial and error. I have to tell you that I kind of plan my meals very similar, and not because I'm trying to be on a diet, just because I know what works for my body and the foods that I eat work really well for me. And I know that when I have my fats earlier in the day, that works best for me in terms of keeping me out of the cabinets at night and stuff. And so I personally don't make a separate dinner for my family for the most part, unless I'm like trying to really like get amazing results and I'm eating fish 24/7. My family is not going to eat fish every day with me. My husband might, but my kids definitely. And so I use a lot of healthy recipes. I use my, you can see right there, I have my slow cooker in there, and I have chicken drumsticks in there, and then I will roast some carrots and some Brussels sprouts. My kids love Brussels sprouts. My kids are always pretty good foodies because we made them that way. Like, they weren't allowed to eat chicken nuggets like every day. They had to eat vegetables and stuff like that. And so that's a process too, but that's another whole video. This person, Skinny Taste, is really awesome. She just came out with a slow cooker recipe. What's another one I like? Oh, here we go. So Cooking Light, when you check out, this is a magazine that comes out once a month. I love Cooking Light because Cooking Light, Cooking Light is really good because I feel like they focus on some important things. They focus on some important things. They focus on not having foods that are like crazy that you got to go to a specialty store. They don't use a lot of ingredients. And I think that when foods don't have a lot of ingredients, they really lend themselves to doing the fix because you can actually see like what ingredients are in there. They're inexpensive for the most part, their meals. And then lastly, my kids love them. And my husband loves them, but especially my kids. And so if I can get a meal that I can work around the fix and I can feed the whole family without making a second meal, it's like thumbs up. And so if you have any questions about meal planning, the best thing I'm gonna do tonight is I'm actually gonna download some meal plans that I've done for a couple of different brackets. I think I have A, B, and C. And what I do is I color code them, and I purposely color code them because you might not like the choice that I made for that green or that red or that yellow, but you have that booklet in front of you and you can easily plug in some things that'll work for you. And so this week I want to see your meal plan. I do. Now I have a party on Saturday that I know I'm gonna have a few drinks and I'm gonna have fun. And I actually was just reading this article that said that people who have one cheat meal a week, or at least one like day where they're not like super focused, they actually find themselves to be just as successful as the people who are really rigid, and they actually like the process more. All right, so I'm really excited to see your meal plans, and you can post them in here or you can send them in here. Guys, they do not have to be like, I do this for my work, okay? This is for your lifestyle. And so if you're comfortable with just writing stuff down on a paper, that's really cool. That's all you need to do. Bye.